What's up, guys? Welcome to ZCT number 7. This one's just going to be kind of rapid fire questions that we got either on Instagram or YouTube. And this shouldn't take long because there's only like maybe 5 questions that I got. So we'll just go through these really quickly. Someone asked, out of all the SW20 MR2s, which one is your favorite? Mine is the Rev 5 1999 2.2 Beams red top.
Wow.
Okay.
No expert.
I've only driven like 3 SW20s. One was your 5S FE 2.2 liter NA with 130 horsepower.
Yeah.
Slow as hell. But it was fun. Like 130 horsepower in a 2,900 pound car.
It's pretty heavy for what it gave power wise. But
Fun car, but it needs double the power. So then when I first started my YouTube channel, I reviewed someone's yellow SW20 with the 3S GTE turbo motor. I think it was, I don't remember which generation it was, but I think it was around like 200, 210 horsepower. That made a big difference. It finally had a power level that was kind of like more suited to the chassis. But even then, I feel like it could use another 50 horsepower.
really,
Yeah, it's just one of those things where
I don't know. Like a short wheelbase though, it can get pretty squirrely.
it can get very squirrely. It's not an easy car to drive.
Maybe too much power is not a good thing, but you're thinking it needs a little more.
SW20s in general are not an easy car to drive. You don't see them a whole lot at either track days or autocross.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen too many.
Yeah, the lift-off oversteer is pretty snappy in those because of the short wheelbase, the MR layout, and all that. But
no offense to the SW20, but I don't maybe I'll offend a lot of people here, but it's on the bottom for me in terms of the 3 generations of MR2. I like the AW11 the most. I just like that style and the pop-up lights and the boxiness.
from a styling perspective.
Yeah. And then like the MRS, I think it's a pretty cool car. I don't know. Do you have a favorite, Sean, of the 3 or no opinion?
Isn't the Spider mechanically the superior car?
By far.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, and it also looks really good. So
That's
See,
a
there
little
you go.
debatable. I think it's the worst looking of the 3.
What? The worst?
Yeah, I don't think it looks like a poor man's Boxster. And a Boxster's already a poor man's Porsche.
he only likes the first gen because it looks like his.
NSX?
Yeah, no, like his 86.
Oh, 86.
Okay, no hate there. That's
Anyways.
true. That's true. Anyways, so that's your take on the
Yeah,
SW20.
but just as a little side point, the MRS with the 2ZZ swap, one of the best cars I've driven.
Really,
It just completely transforms the car because it revs high, it makes decent power, and
it's light, right?
it's super light. Yeah, super fun car.
Cool.
Okay, next question. What's your thoughts on the Jaguar XE-R Sport with the 3-liter supercharged V6 with a manual? Never driven it. Never driven.
The XE is which one again?
That's like the it's like the smaller sedan, I believe.
Interesting. I didn't even know they came out with that configuration.
I didn't know it came with a manual.
Yeah. In terms of it being manual, I think that's cool.
Yeah, that is.
But in
super
terms
cool.
of what market you're trying to target, maybe it's kind of in the same vein as the what's that Chevy that came out? It wasn't the Malibu. It's
The SS.
Yeah, the SS. I know the SS is probably bigger.
Yeah.
But like, what market are you trying to target with that? I think it's cool for them for trying. Whether people will buy it, probably not.
It's
but
a small market.
yeah, very
sure.
And then the thing is, their sports car, the top tier doesn't even have a manual transmission either. The F type.
Yeah,
right?
the F-Type.
Only the smaller one I think has a manual transmission. So it's interesting that's cool that you even mentioned that exists.
There's
Because
the same person actually who I just realized who asked the SW20 question.
oh, okay,
But
cool. You got
I'd
two
love
for
to
me.
drive one. If anyone has one, hit me up.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your opinion on later model 8 and 9, particularly Evos? The Lancer Evolution. Do they offer a good level of driver engagement and fun, or does the all-wheel drive take too much away from that? That's a great question from Asian Jesus. I personally, out of all of the all-wheel drive cars out there, I think the Evo is probably my favorite. This is barring the R34 GTR, because I was just in Japan and I rented that car.
So lucky.
That car like changed my life. But anyways, the Evo, in terms of what's available in the States, I think the Evo 8 and 9 are one of my favorites because it still gives you a really analog feel, like a lot of steering feel, really good shifter. The pedals, all have good weight and feedback.
Sure.
but you get the benefit of the electronics behind all the fancy differentials, and the car is like a cheater car in terms of how it handles and how quickly it can go into and out of a corner. But at the same time, you're still busy. Like you're not just flipping paddles on a GTR.
I was gonna say like GTR is a car I feel like a lot of people say drives itself. So
Yeah, I feel like not that I haven't driven an R35 GTR, but I feel like the Evo is probably like the lower power, more engaging like option.
Sure. And I think it's a shame. I know that they stopped making them, and they stopped making them with the manual transmission because as it got towards the end of its life, they probably couldn't sell any. And I think the manual, and this is based off of no data or anything. I think the manual went away is because they
Well, the Evo 10 still had a manual.
Oh, I thought
5-speed.
Oh, it had a 5. I thought
Once you go to the
latest,
MR,
yeah,
it was
the top of the line.
Yeah.
They probably couldn't sell it because people couldn't drive it with the manual. So it's kind of sad. But I don't know. I've driven the 10. That's the only Evo that I've driven. I just test drove one just for fun when I was looking for cars, and it's a racket to go through all the gears and just floor it. But yeah, I mean, it was a car that I feel like didn't change too much over time after. I don't know. Did it change? You guys think over the generations or? Maybe
Besides
looks-wise.
getting way uglier when the 10 came out, in my opinion, I think the 10 is one of my least favorite looking Japanese cars.
What about you, Sean? Do you have opinions from the like that? I think the 10th generation is the one that looks the most different. But I don't know. What about you and looks wise? From the 7, 8,
I don't know. The
10.
10 looks the most grown up.
It does, which is my problem with it.
8, 9 look like the when we were high schoolers. What
Boy racer, man.
Yeah,
that's
like
the whole point.
Yeah, so the 10 looks good, man. I don't know why you would diss
10
the
looks
10.
good. 10 doesn't look good. What do you guys think?
For me, it's like the 10 is the car out of all the Evos. It's like the one where it takes me the longest to recognize that it's an Evo. Whereas if I see
compared
an 8
to
or
like
9,
the base,
compared
sometimes
to the
I see the
base
base Lancer, and I'm like, is that Evo?
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. But the thing is, there's not too many like Lancers in general in the wild anyway. So it's just
true.
like when I see like a 7 or 8, it's usually the faster one because you don't see too many of the Lancers with like what's that O's it's that package that has all the looks of the Evo or of
I know exactly
the fast one, but it has none of the
it
internals.
doesn't have the 4G63.
I was like, why does that
It's
exist?
front wheel drive. Yeah.
Yeah. But interesting topic.
Yeah.
I do think Evos, they have a place in my heart, but
I'm definitely I might get some hate for this, but I'm an Evo over STI WRX kind of guy.
ooh,
I think they handle better.
Them's fighting words.
that's some fighting words.
They don't understeer as much. Shots fired. All right,
driven
next
it.
question.
And then while Fenton's going to find the next question, don't forget to chime in. We like to do, multiple questions at a time and just talk about it and have fun and, answer your questions and interact with you guys. So yeah, leave them in the comments below.
Yep. Okay. And then the next, I guess, last 2 questions are from the same person. Would you ever pay a premium for a 01 to 05 NSX versus the first gen? I think you meant 02 to 05 because that's where they got rid of the pop-up headlights.
Oh, so you're talking about just the non-pop-up to the pop-up version.
Yes. So not NA1 versus NA2, but just pop-ups versus non-pop-ups.
So other than that, is there a difference? Like you're the NSX
So,
guys.
okay,
Let us non-NSX folk
All right.
know what that
So
means.
I'll break it
Enlighten
down
us.
for you guys. In the US, 91 through 96 is all considered NA1. That's the chassis code. It came with the 3-liter and a 5-speed manual. And I think that's all that really defines the NA1. From 97 to 05, it came with a 3.2-liter and a 6-speed manual. But from 97 to 05, 97 to 01 was still pop-up headlights.
Okay.
02 to 05 was the fixed headlights.
Right. Okay.
So that's kind of how you tell NA1 versus NA2 and then pop-ups versus non-pop-ups.
Okay. So he's asking if you pay a premium for the 3.2 without pop-ups or the 3.0?
Without pop-ups versus the first gen, which just has the pop-ups in the smaller engine, I guess.
Okay. I guess you could break it down. Looks aside. I mean, straight down to looks. Sean, what do you prefer? The pop-up ones or the non-pop?
You're asking the guy with the NAB out.
Yeah, I gotta.
Come on.
God. And then I also have 86, so it's just like pop-ups all day. But I do like. I think the non-pop-up version looks more exotic to me, like more of an exotic
I would
car.
agree.
Like,
Yeah.
and it looks like it costs more. And I think maybe it was.
Costs. The MSRP was higher by that point when it came
Yeah,
out.
exactly. And I think it looks like, oh man, yeah, that's.
There's
an
way
exotic
fewer
car.
of them because they didn't produce that many.
Right. But yeah, I think we're preaching to the
Yeah,
choir
yeah,
here.
yeah.
I think we would all prefer the pop-ups. Now, maybe you have more insight on this. The premium, non-pop-up headlight ones, do they fetch a higher price right now?
So
on the
much
market?
higher, and this goes
Really?
into
Interesting.
my reasoning as to why I wouldn't get the 02 to 05. Just because, like, if you really think about it, it's essentially the same car. It's the same exact chassis, but they made a few tweaks with the suspension, the spring rates. The other thing is, even though you get the bigger engine and the 6-speed with the later model, whatchamacallit, because in the US they were all Targa tops by that point. So from 91 to 94, it was all like fixed roof, which is a lighter car.
Okay.
Once you go 95 and up, every single one except for like a very few number of special order ones are all Targa tops. So you're going to deal with more weight, less rigidity. If it rains, you might get some water leaking in there. But it's not as good of a driver's car in my opinion.
Okay. But what about?
In terms of prices, right? So
Yeah, okay,
A
interesting.
first gen 91 and 94, let's say 100,000 miles, bone stock, good condition, 40 grand, somewhere, give or take 5.
Okay.
Once you go into the 02 to 05s, you're talking 80K plus. And there was that one that we
Jesus,
saw.
double?
Yeah,
Wow.
at the Mecum auctions, remember a few years ago?
Okay. Yeah.
It was like a 02 to or 03. It had like a Comtech supercharger that was installed by the
yeah,
factory.
yeah.
That adds a little bit of value, but that thing went for 125 grand.
It's not the MSRP.
The MSRP was right around there, like over like 13
Didn't
to
lose
15
money.
years ago.
That's impressive.
So at that price point, I could never justify. Look at my freaking shirt. I'm a fanboy, but I could not justify an NSX at that price unless it was a Type R. But Type Rs are like 250K plus now at this point.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting take. So you're saying like from a driver's perspective, it's not worth the extra
It's not.
money because it's aesthetics.
And you lose. The other thing is you lose power steering with the later gen. And I've driven a car without the power with the power steering.
This guy.
And man, the steering is so numb. It's so numb.
Right. Okay, interesting.
So that's that. The same person, he's asked me this question twice. I just haven't taken the time to respond. Have you ever read nsxfiles.com? I went through it a couple times. There is so
Might want to
much.
explain to what that
Yes,
is
please.
actually.
Yeah, so nsxfiles.com is basically like, I think it's like one person, who's had an NSX for a very long time, basically bought it brand new. His experiences with like tracking it and just, driving it, modding it and that kind of thing. And there's a lot of like cool anecdotal stuff on there. He's got like probably over 15 years of history on it. I went through some of it.
It's like a blogger kind of.
Kind of a blog. Yeah, it's really kind of pretty interesting if you're into that type of thing. But I don't know. It was just like so much content. I couldn't get through all of it. But it's pretty cool.
All right.
I think that's about it. We got a lot of like, positive feedback on some of the topics we talked about last time, but there's so much to go through. I don't think, it's not in the best use of time for here.
Sure. Okay. So actually, one more thing before we leave, and I think we've already posted a blog on this, and you went to Japan, and maybe you can talk about that experience, and then this is kind of a tangent, and then you've also been to Japan too, so we've all been to Japan.
Yeah.
You went specifically for a car reason.
Yeah.
Maybe you can briefly talk about that and mention that, and then we can say what we thought about Japan and cars, and then we'll leave off. He got me this candy.
I didn't know what
Thank
it
you,
was.
Frampton. And I ate it, and it was interesting. So I'm gonna make them eat it
Oh,
too.
no.
But yeah, why don't you talk about
Yeah,
that?
so I
trip?
was in Japan for 6 days. I'll post a link to the vlog in the description. It was a life-changing experience.
You went for a car perspective, right?
I went for Tokyo Auto Salon with my 2 other NSX buddies, Dave and Jami. So Tokyo Auto Salon, 2 days, and then we rented 4 JDM cars from Omoshiro Rent-A-Car.
Okay.
But besides that, we winged the entire trip, and it was one of the best times I've ever had in my life. Like, obviously, like I'm a huge JDM fanboy, so I was gonna have a good time regardless, but it was still mind blowing. Like Japan to me feels like the future. Like coming back to America, I'm like, this customer service sucks. This food sucks. Everything's expensive. Public transportation in California sucks. In Japan, like just in the Tokyo train station, it's a straight up maze. And there's like so many stores, so many restaurants. There's a vending machine, like multiple vending machines around every corner that have hot drinks, even like savory drinks. It's just like, this is how society should.
Oh, I see.
Like it's so much more efficient.
Yeah. Sean, anything about you in Japan and anything of highlighted in particular? I know you didn't go for a car perspective, but
I didn't see the Mazda assembly line.
oh,
That was really cool because Mazda has a mixed assembly line.
for their cars.
Yes, because they're such a small volume manufacturer. They don't just make Corolla. They make whatever they want. It's really cool as an engineer to see how they tool the line and how much more trained the workers have to be to do like different cars that come along. So they had like a MX-5 with like a CX-5.
coming right behind.
Each other.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
So.
But they're not even the same like
No,
Maybe they share parts.
That's how the assembly line works. There.
interesting.
Wow. Okay. Well, you two can start eating this. I guess I'll talk a little bit
God.
about Japan in my perspective. I know Fenton has like a car-oriented blog, and I've been there before, and I've done my share of trips to Japan. And like when I first thought like going as a car guy recently, I thought that I would notice a lot more car things, but it's not like openly flaunted. I think car-wise in Japan. I mean, there's some like really, I guess, ricey kind of cars, but it's not like, oh, you see skylines everywhere. You do see some. You do see some cars, and yeah, thanks for this gift, by the way. But yeah, it's
Why
quite
is
the
it salty?
experience.
You look at. I'm gonna show this camera. Look at.
Is this leaking candy or something?
No, it's not.
That's the face I make.
What
when
kind
I
of
eat
tastes
it.
like it?
It tastes like meat or something.
I like the texture, but the flavor's a little out there.
But anyways, yeah, I thought I'd just tack this one on at the end of this episode. Yeah, maybe Fenton, you can bring us out while you're eating, or end us here while you're eating this delicious candy you got me.
What are we talking about? I'm just so distracted by this flavor.
For next time when we for these hot takes or whatever for the rapid fires.
Yeah, so I do have a future topic I do want to talk about, and I'll give you a little preview of it just to maybe build some hype. I'm considering selling my BMW E39 and my S2000 so I can consolidate into one daily in track car. It would cost more money than both of those cars are worth, but maybe you guys can take a gander at it. It's just a thought. And I go through these thoughts multiple times a day, so I'm not committing to anything right now. But that would be a cool topic to talk about. And with that, thanks guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.